I am a pro-choice Democrat. I would shoot and or point a gun about it because it is the law. Women's choice has been around for a long time about abortion, about their bodies. The only really way besides yelling or threatening a woman that I can see to stop them is physical assault of some degree or another and to keep them in a house. And Texas did this with state laws recently in the past year. The Supreme Court, or last year, the Supreme Court ruled that they should favor the state laws and did not, as far as I'm aware, allow her to leave the state. And because of this, there were a large amount of protests. A lot of women fled the state of Texas, and it was generally a mess. They left for places like California and Florida, which are more pro-choice, because if you do that, women will just leave you. And that is most men. There are very few men in the world, especially when it comes to the top tier woman, that can say you have no choice. And that is just a fact of the matter. And even with how Texas has reduced it to a 6-week abortion ban, they still have choice. And that proves that choice is, in fact, correct. Other reasons that I'm pro-choice is that finding the right person, especially long-term, can be very difficult. One of the biggest reasons for cheating is, honestly, sex and boredom and being boring in a relationship. And so when you're looking for someone, especially if you're a sexual creature, or have a high libido, then you want to make sure that you find the right partner and that the relationship is both mentally and physically strong. And in doing that, things like the pill can help. So I find it's not that hard. And in my scenario, I've already talked about in my relationship and Tinder reveal video that it's a big hookup culture, at least where I came from, and pretty much all over the world with Tinder becoming more and more popular. They're even going to charging thousands of dollars now over a Tinder profile, which comes across as a gold digger thing to me, and just looking to suck money out of men and is verging on prostitution, which I'm severely against. I have a vlog about prostitution and hookers that's going to go up here at some point, so look for that in my vlogs playlist. But I've never found it an issue when it comes to being in charge as the man, because when I'm in charge as the man, I simply talk to a woman. Every Tinder match, when I had Tinder and was younger, before 25, and was, playing the field like a lot of women told me to do, like my friends and peer pressure convinced me to do, I would talk to them beforehand and simply, tell them very seriously, if you want to do this, if you want to, give it a go and try with me and see how we like each other and see how we like each other in bed, I want you to take the pill after. And I'm more for the pill than I am for condoms, especially if I see that I could have something serious, with a woman, a serious relationship for some amount of time, a year, 2 years, because even when I was a player or, was into hooking up in my college days with my friends, I was always still looking for something more long-term, I think, than they were, because they were often into one-night stands and things like that would sometimes lightly turn into a relationship, and I was always looking for things that will last, at least a year, 2 years, so that I can learn about myself and I can learn about someone else, and I'm not just, wasting my time, almost pleasuring myself or masturbating with another person in a one-night stand. I absolutely can't stand one-night stands, like I've said in another video, and every time that I've had one and women just want to hop from guy to guy that are good looking, it makes me feel used. It makes women feel used often. There's a lot of cold-shouldered women nowadays because they have been used by men that can get away with it, at least when they're young. And it's along with things like divorce of the past generation, it's given a lot of women that I would care very dearly about and have a serious relationship with a lot of trauma. And so these are all the main reasons I'm pro-choice. I just think it's correct. I don't like that Florida as a state is regressing, and I moved away. I wouldn't go back. I think they've moved down from 4 months to like 2 months or 2.5 months, and I think it's a stupid thing. I think that like bossy men in a relationship, unless the woman really likes to be a dainty woman, kind of a wimp, not her own person, is unwise. I had an ex-friend now in college. He had a relationship with a woman. He got too bossy. He got too in charge. He tried to have a baby with her when he should not have, and she just simply went and took the pill and broke up with him, and that was it. And women have that power nowadays, and men have to look to that and respect that power. And some men who are hell-bent on being in charge in a relationship and are hell-bent on power in a relationship with a woman can't handle that. And I find that a backwards way to be. And especially in modern day, when there are extremely, lots, if you look at Instagram, if you have an Instagram, there are a ton of women who make more money than you, and you will never really be in charge of, no matter how hard you try. Like, unless she is hell-bent on you being the father of her child, and even then you're still, the only thing that you can really be in charge of is holding the child kind of hostage back, because they make more money than you. They're millionaires, sometimes billionaire women, and can have almost any man they choose unless the man is a player themselves. So there's absolutely no way to be in charge of a lot of these women. You just have to treat them as an equal. A lot of these top tier models, the only thing you can ever be to them, unless you make more money, have more follows, have more fame, or have more power in something like the military, unless you have one of those three things, I would doubt you would even be a strong match for them as a man at all. You have to be a military man, an athlete, a billionaire, a genius billionaire of some sort, born super rich of some sort, so they at least can have you around for money, or be more famous. And there's some of these women, there's very, very few men that are more famous and more powerful, and in that grouping of men, a lot of them are taken. So it's very much a woman's world right now, and it's very much woman's choice, unless she absolutely has to have a guy. And it's that old school tragic story where the guy can, treat her like garbage because he's whatever he is to her. He's good looking, he's kind of a dick and doesn't care, and she can't stand it. Like, it's just one of those situations. So pro-choice in the modern day, to me, is absolutely the way to be. It's absolutely the best way to find your person, so that you don't waste youth. Wasting youth is also a terrible thing. The players that want to play until 30, 35, I find them severely incorrect. They do not care about doing the fun things with their wife or with their husband. All they care about is themselves. They're extremely selfish people, and they don't care. Like, in my instance, I was a player, like I said. Like, have your fun when you're young is my opinion on it in this day and age, because there's a lot of people that are going to pressure you into it. Do it safely. Talk to the woman first. Don't just assume things. Don't get too grabby. Use first, second, third, like in baseball. And but cut it off at 24 or 25. Like, try to save some of the fun for your wife, for the person that you love, for the person that you care about. Try to save the fun for your husband. If you have from the man's side, if you have a woman that you're severely in love with, and she had a bunch of fun in college with a bunch of different dudes from 18 to 25, and then she meets you and wants something serious and to calm it down and won't do anything besides serious relationship stuff with you, and is very conservative with you, but she did all these crazy sex acts for guys from the time of 16, 18 to 25. You shouldn't feel very loved at all, in my opinion, and I wouldn't feel very loved at all in that situation. And I wouldn't expect my wife, if I did a bunch of things, like a ton of girls, like I was like 25 plus, like I've had sex with 25 plus girls before 25 and want to keep it going. I want to get to like 100 girls, right? Like some guys do. By the time they're 35, they want to get to 100 girls, and they don't ever want anything serious, and they don't want any fun for their wife, the person that they love, the person that they would have a child with. I think that's wrong. I still am trying to find the best middle ground that I can in this, and I hope to find a woman that's doing the same for me, because that's not a way to be. It's an abusive way to be, actually, to be all about yourself for some period of time and then not have any fun in store for your spouse, for the person you love. It should be the opposite. It should be save all of the fun that you can for the person you love and meet them as early as possible and have 10 years of fun with them before you have children. It becomes all about the children, and stresses and relationship things come about. So that's how I am, and that's how I'm going to continue to be. You can't really change my mind on this. I think that a lot of the players are fucking up unless they're in some kind of strange open relationship or consider themselves in some kind of strange open relationship. And some people got away with it. Some, millionaires and billionaires got away with playing until 35, past that. But to me, it's not the way to be. It wasted the love of your life's youth. It wasted the mother of your child's youth. This gets into a complicated video because on the men's side it's different, because a lot of men, tragically, they don't think about another woman young or settling down young, and then when they get to 35 or later, they'll look for someone younger, and that is kind of in response to some younger women wanting older men. But that gets into also like two really abusive types of people where they are actually selfish in some way, where they just want a sugar daddy or a baby girl, and they don't think about being young with someone at all, and that's sad to me. When I get older, if I don't find anyone by the time I'm 35, I don't expect God to reward me with a young girl who hasn't had anybody and just wants fun with me. I understand that's what some people are into. That's a fine way to be in some cases. I don't want to offend anyone, but my thing was always being young with someone. Ever since I was 20, my plight in life has always been being young with someone, and I think that's a very important thing to be. And also saving, not being a prude with everyone, but saving what fun I can for the right person and spending as much fun time as I can with that right person. Spending as much of my youth as I can with that right person. So that's how I am. That's my pro-choice spiel. I might be forgetting a few things, but that's it for me on pro-choice for now. Peace out.